The slot machine at Liverpool is broken. Sorry, I had to. But before we start, this is not a penalty. I honestly don't know why VAR decided to give that as a pen, but hey. And in the same breath, this is not the reason why Liverpool have lost 4 games in a row. But like I said, the Arne Slot machine is broken, coins are falling out, and people are losing their minds and thinking, what is going on at Liverpool? Just a season ago, they won the Premier League. So why is it now that all of a sudden, things are just not working? Now, as this season is unfolding, Liverpool are staring down the barrel of a host of problems. And today we're going to look exactly why Liverpool aren't working, why Liverpool aren't clicking, and ultimately, where Slot has gone wrong. But before we get into that, make sure you hit subscribe to join MB United. I post every single week about Premier League and sometimes about Arsenal. Daily shorts as well, and posts, polls and competitions on the community tab on YouTube, so make sure you get involved. Now, back to Liverpool. Now, last season under Arne Slot, Liverpool captured the Premier League, and ultimately, people were very surprised because Slot only made one signing in Federico Chiesa, and it was basically the exact same team that Klopp had the season prior. But this season, the warning lights are flashing, they're going off, things aren't clicking, the defence looks leaky, and Liverpool just don't look the same. Now first, let's take a look at the defence. Liverpool's defence this season has been exposed in ways that they just weren't last season. They've ultimately downgraded defensively. Jamie Carragher says, it's crisis time. The champions need to improve their physicality. Teams are just playing long balls over Liverpool's press. They're exposing the gaps both in the defence for the centre-halves and for the fullbacks. And this reflects on the fullbacks they brought in this summer to replace the aging Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold, who left for Real Madrid. And even Arne Slot said it himself, they won more duels than us, more second balls than us. The result? Too many goals from open play and set pieces. That's not just a blip. It weakens everything else you do because you're always chasing. And he's 100% right. Because now more than ever, the Premier League is about physicality, making sure you're winning your ground duels. And if you're not winning the first ball, definitely make sure you win the second ball. And Liverpool just don't look like they're doing that right now. Last season, Gravenberch was sensational in that holding midfield alongside McAllister with Szoboszlai ahead of him. However, this season, the midfield is not clicking the same way that it did last year. This might have to do with Szoboszlai dropping in at right back to fill in for Frimpong when he's not injured. But even still, I feel like it's a very, very weird decision with the fact that he has Joe Gomez in centre-half who can also play right back. But that's just me. I don't know. Now, secondly, let's take a look at the squad. After a title-winning season, Liverpool's squad has now transitioned from one thing to another. There's been new faces, there's been key departures that have left the club in the likes of Nunez, Diaz, and even Trent Alexander-Arnold. But it still just seems like Liverpool did too much too quickly in the summer. Now, on my TikTok and Instagram, I said it myself. In the summer, when everyone's saying Liverpool are going to walk the league with signing Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak, I said, Liverpool, slow down. You've just won the league. You didn't finish second, you won the league, which means that the team you have is a very good team. All you need to do is maybe add 2, maybe 3 signings at most to build on this and make sure you don't unsettle the ship too much. They brought in Ekitike, Wirtz, Isak, Frimpong, Kerkez, and young defender Leone, spending a lot of money bringing in basically starters and star players in the likes of Frimpong, Isak, and Wirtz for sure. And this is no surprise as to why Liverpool, the team, just don't look like they're gelling as well as they are. And as mentioned before, on paper, the recruitment does look good. But in reality, players need to take time to gel. Chemistries need to be developed on the pitch. Cohesion in the play does take a while. You know, we're talking about the pressing triggers, the defensive transitions, when to switch the ball, certain attacking movements. Things that Liverpool had very set in stone for the last 4 or 5 years, especially last season. Now it looks like Slot has kind of ripped it out too much, too quickly, and Liverpool are suffering the consequences. Now, adding that to the defensive fragility that I mentioned before, this is cooking up something very, very dangerous for Liverpool, and not in a good way. And one of the other issues that you can see in Liverpool is the lack of leadership. There's no one stepping up to lead the boys this season. There's no one putting their arms around the lads and saying, look, we won the Premier League last season. We might have lost 2 games in a row, maybe even 3 games in a row. Let's go back to basics, settle the ship, stop complicating things, and let's make sure that we don't leave here with another loss. Champions need leaders, and that's as clear as day. In Liverpool last season, I guess Salah was the one who stepped up to the plate and really made his presence known. Over the last 3 Premier League wins for Manchester City, you could say that Rodri was definitely one of those leaders in that midfield. If not him, it was definitely De Bruyne. And this season under Arsenal, it looks like Gabriel is one of those leaders on the pitch that might take Arsenal to the Premier League title. We don't know yet. And even pundits alike, such as Wayne Rooney, has even said that Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, they don't look like they've really led the team this season. And it's very, very true. I don't really like to point fingers and place blame on certain individuals and saying it's this player's fault or that player's fault. But when you have someone as experienced as Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, you do expect them to step up, especially when you have so many new faces in the club. 4-game losing streak for holding champions is rare. I mean, we did see something quite similar with that last season with Manchester City, but even still, it's a very rare feat to see. The cumulative effect of losing so many games, there's increased pressure around the club from both the fans and the players, a loss of self-belief, and there's also a bit of doubt that's going to start to fester. Arne Slot did so well last season. Why did he feel the need to bring in so many new faces this season to make a change? And number 4, Liverpool tactically don't look that great. Now, from the first Premier League game, Liverpool versus Bournemouth, I said that Liverpool were going to be food. Now, when I say Liverpool were going to be food, I don't mean this literally. I mean that on the transition, on the counter, Liverpool look very, very vulnerable. And we've seen it time and time again this season. Their fullbacks are getting exposed. Their midfield has gaps in it. Their press just doesn't seem as effective as it has been for the last couple of years. One long ball against Liverpool, and you're out. And even some of the experts are saying, Liverpool, we are absolutely hopeless out of possession, and there hasn't been an ounce of improvement. So this means that if you concede more, you lose control. Jamie Carragher said it himself. It seems that the game is like a basketball game. It's end to end all the time. And one thing that's most important for Premier League teams and teams that want to be champions and hold on to their Premier League title is control of the game. And if this system, this tight system that Slot has done under compact pressing, vertical play, if it fails even once, you are vulnerable to losing 4 games in a row. I said it with some of the transfers. Replacing Alexander-Arnold with Jeremy Frimpong, who's a wing back, and emphasis on wing is not a good idea. Bringing in someone like Kirkes was a very good idea. However, I feel like you should have been phased in very, very slowly. Let Robertson start his season and then slowly start to bed Kirkes in. Because in these early games, Kirkes has looked very, very inexperienced. The fact that he dives in so much is a defensive liability. And the fact that Slot wants them to press high and attack high, use the wing backs, this means that when Frimpong and Kirkes are joining the attack, this leaves Van Dijk, Konate and Gravenberch, and maybe even McAllister if he's not on the edge of the box, to defend, which is a recipe for failure. So what must Liverpool do to arrest this form and arrest this slump that's seen them from 5 points clear, 5 games in? 4 games later, they're 7 points behind league leaders Arsenal. Number 1, defensive reset. They need to reinforce stability. They need to get back to the basics. Now, for me personally, I think Slot needs to stop putting Szoboszlai in right back. Now, I'm not saying that Szoboszlai has been terrible at right back, but the boy's a midfielder. He's a creative midfielder. He wants to get forward, be on the edge of the box, whether it's making those nice little passes around the corner or banging it in from about 25, 30 yards. I personally would say put Joe Gomez at right back and bring Robertson back at left back. This isn't me saying that he needs to completely drop Frimpong and Kirkes, but I feel like the fact that Joe Gomez is also a good centre-half means that when Kirkes does go forward, you have at least 3 centre-halves in Van Dijk, Konate and Joe Gomez back, making sure that if they are going to be counted against, there's some sort of defensive facility there. Number 2, speed up cohesion. When I say speed up cohesion, I mean that under Arne Slot, what they need to do is make sure that they have basic chemistry gelled there in the beginning. Like, honestly, this might sound childish, but simple things as team bonding, simple things as making sure on the training ground that there are simple patterns that these 3 players or these 4 players in a pattern of play must follow are set and made sure that they are ironclad. Things like that, especially in a new environment, playing for a new club, can definitely go the mile when it comes to later on down the line, balancing Champions League with the FA Cup, and of course, holding on to the Premier League title. Number 3, leadership matters. Van Dijk and Salah are one of the most experienced players in this Liverpool shirt. They've won the Champions League for Liverpool and they've won the Premier League twice for Liverpool. Something that none of these other players have done. Salah's form has fallen off a cliff, and to be honest with you, we all expected it. Well, maybe not all of us, but I, for damn sure, definitely did expect it. After having an all-time performance last season, I said there's no way Mohamed Salah is going to keep this up for a second season running. There is going to be a drop in form. And there has been. But it's up to him and Van Dijk to lead from the front and from the back. At the back, Van Dijk needs to tell Kirkes, stay on your feet, do not dive in, let's all move as a unit. And on the right-hand side, Mohamed Salah needs to say to Frimpong, look, I know you like to get forward a lot, but stay back. Or listen, you go forward, I'll drop back a bit. That type of communication can definitely make the difference between Liverpool dropping points and getting 3 points. And lastly, tactical fine-tuning. Maybe this means that Arne Slot says to his fullbacks, you know what? Instead of both of you flying up, when one goes up, the other stays back. Or maybe it means that they need to press less often. Honestly, I don't know what the answer is tactically for Liverpool, but that's not for me to decide. That's for Arne Slot to figure out. Because the next 6 to 8 games in the Premier League is going to be vital. This shows whether or not they're serious in defending their title and entering yet another title race, or they're just destined for a top 4 race this season. And in my predictions, I did say that I think Liverpool are going to be in the top 4 race. So we'll see how it pans out. And somehow a season of redemption, of solidification and pure dominance has turned into a season of early turmoil, a lot of questions and reasonable doubt that Liverpool might not hold on to their Premier League title this season. And they always say it, winning the title once is hard, but winning it back to back is even harder. Now, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on how Liverpool perform in the next 8 games, and so should you, because everybody likes an exciting title race. I want Liverpool to get back to their best and actually make it a real race between Liverpool and Arsenal and maybe City and Chelsea. Or they could, continue to slip, continue to lose games, and literally hand Arsenal the title before the new year. But I'm curious as to what you think is Liverpool's biggest problem so far this season. If you've enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you smash a massive like on this video, and also comment down below, what do you think is Liverpool's biggest problem? How can they solve it? And should Liverpool have bought Isak after they bought Ekitike? Because I told everyone they shouldn't. Don't forget to subscribe to join MB United, where we talk about Premier League and Arsenal action every single week. Before you go, there's going to be a video popping up on screen, and I think you guys will really enjoy that video as much as you enjoyed this one. So thanks for watching, keep it real, and I'll see you when I see you in a bit.